Hi, I'm Julianne, and today I'll be your navigator as we explore the topic of humility. In today's story, Jesus teaches some hard lessons. Jesus is at a dinner party and noticed some guests grabbing the best seats at the table. So Jesus tells a story about someone who takes the best seat at a wedding banquet, and how when they're asked to move, it's extremely embarrassing. Jesus concludes the story by saying, "All who lift themselves up will be brought low, and those who make themselves low will be lifted up." Next, Jesus turns to the party host and says that he shouldn't invite people to his party that can repay him. He should be inviting those that can't repay him. Then one of the guests says how great the feast will be in the heavenly kingdom. Jesus responds with a story about who will be at this feast and who will not. This story is like a warning to the guests and the host that they might miss out on God's kingdom. Jesus challenges their behavior and warns them of the consequences for assuming that they're better than others and taking the best seat at the table, or prioritizing stuff and status over relationships. It seems like a painful and embarrassing lesson. These people had probably worked really hard to be respected in their communities. They were wealthy and they probably gained a high status among their peers. Jesus' lessons tell us the importance of humility and that it's easy to miss God's invitation if we're caught up in our stuff and ourselves. I remember a story about a woman on an airplane. She was sitting next to a man that she thought smelled really bad, so she called the flight attendant to come on over. When the flight attendant got there, she told her that this man smelled really bad, that she was a very, very important businesswoman and extremely successful, and that she couldn't stand sitting next to someone who probably hadn't bathed in weeks. She asked the flight attendant to move her. The flight attendant paused and then looked at the man and looked at the woman and told her, "Of course, we definitely can do something about this." So she looked at the man and said, "Excuse me, sir, follow me. We have a seat for you in first class." The businesswoman was completely embarrassed. Jesus is very clear in today's story. He says that no one is better than someone else based on how they look, or what they wear, or how they smell, or who they love, or how they worship. And Jesus even says that those that are treated poorly are going to fill the kingdom of God. One of my favorite sayings is God first, others second, and I am third. By living like this, it can foster humility and even help us have right relationships with ourselves, others, and our stuff. If God is first and others are second, we will live humbly and generously. Now it's your turn. Which of Jesus' lessons in today's story hit you the most powerfully, and why? What can we learn from those who are poor and outcast in Jesus' story about the feast? What are ways you can put God first and others second in your life? Let's dive in.